Welcome to the Confident Money Mindset. My name is Regina, and on this channel, we talk about all things that deal with money, from better budgeting habits to investing to creating multiple streams of income. Well, if you haven't noticed, things have changed. Things are changing, and things are going to continue to change. That's why I am rethinking my income strategy for 2026. We cannot walk into or continue to go into 2026 like it's 2016. Everything is changing. The way we work has changed. Like I said, the way we earn money has changed. And definitely the economy has changed. And it's been changed for a couple of years. I'm like, is it going to get any better? Of course it will, because you know what? Everybody doesn't have money problems. Some people, whether the economy is good or bad, it might affect them a little bit, but they don't have money problems. Their life is not disrupted, with the ups and downs of the economy. Why? Because they're secure. They have built a financial security net for themselves. And so that's what I'm going to do, and that's what I'm going to convince you to do going forward in 2026. So if you like me, you came up saying, okay, I get a job, I work hard, and that'll be fine. No, things have changed. There was a time when you could work for a company. People was working for companies, the same company, for 30 years. They're not doing that anymore. They want to let you go after a couple of years. They even stopped a lot of you. I mean, I don't know. I'm probably telling my age, but it was a time when you would work for a company, and depending on how long you worked there, you would be what would they call it? I don't know. You work long enough to get a severance package, not a severance package, but a retirement plan. They cut that stuff out. They don't even have that anymore. So I said all that to say, you have to have a plan for yourself. Your financial future is in your hands. We can't depend on our employers, so definitely can't depend on the government. So your financial future is in your hands. Everything is changing. The unemployment rate, I was looking the other day, the employment rate is high, although it's low compared to last year, still high. While wages are definitely flat, and everything is flat except prices. The prices of everything, the prices of cars. Ooh, when I look at cars, the prices of cars I never imagined. You can't even get a car under $30,000 anymore. The prices of houses, I don't know where you live, but where I live, your minimum house is $500,000. So I said all that to say, with the price of everything rising and income staying flat, like I said, your financial future is in your hands. So if you see me scrolling or looking away, I'm looking at my notes. So what I'm going to do in 2025, I'm not going to depend on like one paycheck or paycheck. I'm going to create multiple streams of income for myself, which I've already started. I've already started doing that. Creating multiple streams of income for myself. I worked in the financial industry for over 20 years. And one thing I learned about wealthy people, they don't just have they may work a job, but a lot of them are wealthy by default or from inheritance. That's passed down money from their parents. Wealthy people start having investment funds for their children and grandchildren when they're 2 and 3 years old. So a lot of that money is passed down. But with that money, they still build income layers. When I say layers, I'm talking about things like investing in the stock market. They have real estate, rental income, dividends from stock market. They create businesses, or businesses, whether they selling physical products or services. They have income layers. Like I said, it's some people, and these type people, they're not affected by the economy. I mean, a little bit, if it goes up and down, just a little bit, but not like the average person, because they have put layers in place. They have protected their money against those things. And so that's what I'm going to do in 2026. Because if your 2025 was anything like mine, you would know why I say, you would know why I'm saying that. And a lot of times we look at things like side hustles, things like freelancing, digital products, content creation. We look at that as just like side hustles. But I don't look at them like side hustles. Like I said, I told my story in another video. I was displaced from my job in latter year of 2025, and so I leaned into the digital market space, the online space, and you can do a lot there. It's no longer a side hustle. Those are strategic ways to build flexibility, ownership, and long time stability. So if you have your own job, you have your own business, have your own income, then you don't, you're not like a whippoorwill. You don't really feel the effects of what everybody else is doing, what's going on around you. One good digital product, if it's structured right, if it's marketed right, can potentially bring in 10K a month. You know what 10K a month? That's like $100,000 on what used to be considered a side hustle. So I'm on board because I have already built a good ecosystem for myself. It works. I'm not saying you're gonna get rich overnight. I'm not telling you like these other people make it seem like it's easy. It's not easy. It's hard work. But it's like what's that saying? Say you got to trust the process. If you stick in there, you trust the process. It will definitely pay off. So I call it the mindset shift. I stopped thinking like an employee and started thinking like an entrepreneur. I became a woman with multiple streams of revenue. And once my mind shifted, my income followed. Remember, I have this saying that wealth is a behavior. It's not really a bank balance, it's a behavior. So if we can adopt those behaviors that later on would help us to become financially stable. It's the behaviors that create wealth, not a bank balance. So if you like content like this, subscribe for more money boosting tips, and I will see you in my next video. Take care.